welcome back, everyone. I have our third season with Mr. Manager, the wonderful Andrew, who's one of the sides of me. I don't know which side. I haven't sorted it out yet.
I'm the manager.
He hit brilliant. He took the previous season, so I'm going to let him explain briefly what he did in the previous episode.
So in the last episode, I took over as Humene manager from Ash. You played the last 8 games of the first season.
Wasn't many.
The first full season I had in charge, and won promotion, won the league.
It's quite an impressive feat, to be fair, mate.
Thank you. So there was all the pressure on Ash because I handed it over to him when we were 900 to 1 for the. I mean, admittedly that's to finish first, but it gives you a good idea of the odds that Ash was up against to even stay in the division.
I think the other team were about 600 or 700 to 1 as well, but everyone after that was like 100 to 1.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you were very much up against it.
There was 2 teams that are incredibly bad. Pretty much going to take the bottom 2 positions if it wasn't for my intervention.
So if you do want a quick recap of that, I'm sure Ash will leave a note up in one of these corners with a link to it if you want to see a bit more in-depth what happened that year. But Ash, what have you got for us?
Yeah, so we're planning to come back on New Year's Day, January the 1st. I'm just going to leave it to you. What do you think has happened? Where do you think we are? At that point, we're roughly halfway through the season, of which there are 11 teams. So 12 teams. So theoretically, we've played 11 games, which I'm going to level. They've played loads more by that point because for some reason their season's all screwed up.
Yeah.
But what are you saying?
My prediction, because while we've been talking about this, Ash has really emphasised on planning to come back on January 1st. So I think, unfortunately, you might have got sacked because I know the board, their expectation was avoid relegation. That was always going to be a tough ask. That's my prediction.
To be fair, I did say on the comments of your video that this league is incredibly hard.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I have faith in you in general, but just the way that you've led up to this moment.
Oh, actually, I just went to the thing, and it is avoid relegation. It's not attempt to. It's just straight up avoid. Yeah. I'm on a level, Andrew. I'm still there. New Year's Day.
Oh,
we're still there.
Oh, okay.
It's not great.
Let's see what's going on.
And here's what the team's been up to, Andrew.
Oh no.
As you can see, we had a strong start. I thought
won the first 2 games.
I thought this league's well easy. We beat Slovan Bratislava, mate. I thought it's in the bag. I'm a genius. I am a tactical genius. And then we lost 10 games in a row.
I can't help but notice. So you won the first 2 games with a 4-4-2 DM.
Yeah.
And then changed formation.
Because partway through this sampling game, like these 2 were wins.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me wrong, but they were not good wins. We completely skanked him. This one we got a penalty in the 85th.
And 2 penalties.
And this one we lost the player shortly after getting a penalty, and then they scored in the 93rd. So it wasn't convincing by any means.
Okay.
But I do appreciate what you're pointing out. And there isn't any tactical kind of regularity here. We managed to pick up a win, again by a penalty, against
the team that came up.
Dubnica, yeah.
So the win that you got was still against a team that are like predicted to finish one place above.
Yeah, it was against the other worst team, who also beat us.
Don't get me wrong. I expected you to struggle.
It was bleak.
I didn't think you'd have one win in about 20 games.
It was so incredible. It's actually 19. It was so incredibly painful. 19 games in total. It just wasn't good. In all the losses, we scored like 6 goals in 15 losses. It was painful. There's a whole month where we didn't even score a goal. We had 5 1-0 losses.
Oh, no. I didn't even spot that.
It just wasn't fun.
I mean, losing 1-0.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it was so frustrating. They weren't getting battered. Yeah. We just weren't. It was just not good enough. Realistically, they just weren't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't getting like slapped at 4-5-0 every week. I don't know if losing 1-0 all month is even worse than that, to be honest.
So
from I think that'd be more frustrating.
So yeah, Juritka, the boy that you tried to bring back in, did come in, and he did well, and he was playing with us to about here, and then his team took him back because he wasn't playing in the right position, which is fair, to be honest, because we weren't playing very well. Where was the last game that he featured? Oh, here it is. So this was his last game against Comorano. Yeah, not good. So
can I ask where Tatran Prezov were from that knocked you out of the cup? Are they in the leagues or?
They are in the league below.
Okay, not horrendous.
Not ideal. Not good.
Not ideal, but could be worse.
Yeah. Literally, like all the friendlies and stuff are thinking, do you know what? We're doing really well. I think I've got this.
Even won the first 2 games, and you're on top of the world.
Then it all fell apart. So that's January. At this point, I'm going to level. I thought, you know what? I'm actively going to be good.
Table while we're here.
I'm not gonna do Andrew Dirty and just kind of look for teams all the time. Yeah, we got 9 points in 18.
To be fair,
6 of which were in our first 2 games.
But at that stage of the season,
it's rescuable.
You are still, you could save that.
Exactly. So I thought, you know what? Things are slightly coming back, hopefully, and we'll just see where we are. So yeah, that's fine. I will level basically from about the 4th league game. I had been searching for jobs. I didn't want to do you dirty and just search because I get kind of, what is it, restless. I get restless. So I thought, no, I'm gonna be reserved. Screw that. Searching for jobs, and I had been for like 5 months. Which, to be fair, at this form, understandably, no one's interested.
Yeah.
So our next stop, again planned, but judging this form, there's a danger that we may not be here.
Yeah.
My next planned stop is to come back and show you our youth intake. So, okay. I suppose
that'll be around March time.
Yeah, that's what we should do. So I'll go into my little save folder. I'll open part 2 up, and we'll have a little look where we are.
Okay, sounds good.
This is going to take ages to load, isn't it? We'll see what happens. Don't worry about it. Fine. I'm stalling here. We've got a new job. Gone out of here. We've stayed in the country. We've left Humene, and we've gone to Skalica, I think they're called. This is the team that there's 12 teams in the league, so these are currently 8th, I believe. We're sat on 9 points. They've got 20.
Currently 9th in the Fortuna
Yes,
League.
sorry, yeah. So 20 points from 18. Not great, but it's significantly stronger. And as we know, only 2 teams are going down, one of which are only guaranteed as well. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll just.
And at this point, you've got what, like 11-point buffer?
Yes, yeah. So, and then I think there's 3-point difference between Humene and the team, kind of.
So you've got 8 buffer to the 8-point buffer just to the playoff spot, and then 11 to the bottom of the league.
Yeah. So the team are just looking to avoid relegation again, and then going forward is just to continue to attempt, continue to avoid. Yeah. It's not ideal. The shirts aren't as nice as well, but it's fine. We move. I'm scooting through these. I probably could have saved one after this. But our squad is it's all right. Got a few decent players. The wages aren't particularly high. I'm not going to go into too much depth here, to be fair, because
I'm not sure if any of them will be that high.
No.
There's a lot of old players.
Yes. There's a few decent ones. Like Rui Modesto, he was being quite decent for me. And he's quite versatile as well. There's quite a lot of versatile players.
Oh, wow. So this was on the 3rd of January, so...
2 days. Literally 2 days. I'd already had the interview at that point, and I think on the 2nd is when they came through and asked me about potential staff changes. Of course, no one came with me because they were all shite, to be quite honest. It was a waste of my time. I don't know how much of this I'm going to show, but what I will do is go to competitions, and I'll just give you another little look on see what Skalica were doing. So, as we say, they're up in 9th, so there is a 8-point buffer between them and the team directly behind. And then if we're looking forward, the league actually splits off halfway through. I think it's 7th and below.
That would make sense.
With the top team in that division actually, or that split.
For Europe?
No, but they do go into a playoffs for it, potentially.
Okay.
So, so 7th place is the relegation
European
group.
Playoff.
They go into a playoff.
Nice.
So realistically, the team that goes into that playoff probably isn't going to be a strong chance, but we'll see what happens. They had a little youth and tape preview as well, which is what we're going to jump to. But here's what the preview says. So we've got 3 good goalkeepers, 3 brilliant goalkeepers, okay wide midfielders, and everyone else is a bit naff. 5-star. So we'll jump forward and we'll see how accurate that actually is. And here we are in the future with...
Ooh, hello.
2 decent players, to be fair. Peter Ilko and Michael Watson, a Northern Irish fella, for some reason.
What's he doing here?
I honestly don't know. He looks all right, to be fair.
11 finishing.
16. His stats are questionable, apart from finishing, acceleration, pace, natural fitness. He's all right. He's unambitious, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
And then
that's...
Ilko, who it has listed as the pick of the bunch, a 15-year-old goalkeeper. He's 6 foot, which isn't bad, to be fair. 15, he probably might grow again. His personality is
casual.
Casual, yeah. Don't know what that means, to be quite honest.
No, neither.
Yeah, he looks all right. So as we
15
said,
teamwork for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was getting geared up for the league then, Andrew. You've talked over it. As we've said, picked up the team in 9th, yeah. Potential of pushing up to 7th to see if we can get that European position. So where do you think we are? Unless you've caught it already, where?
I have not caught it at all. So, you know what? I'm gonna, like I say, I do have faith in you as a manager. I believe you only struggled at Humene because it was Humene and they just weren't up to scratch. I don't think that was your fault.
The team were awful. They were miles off.
I don't think there was a way we could have got that team to safety. If I'm being, maybe the playoff would have been that. Anything above like 11th, I think would have been.
That was kind of
unrealistic to expect for.
That was kind of my jumping off reason as well, to be fair, because I thought I probably could save them, but it would involve saves coming. So I just thought, you know what, let's not.
So I'm going to say you've managed to get that 7th place and get us into the...
So we've still got 2 games left of the league, bear in mind. We joined in straight away, a draw against Dubnica, which isn't brilliant.
Yeah.
Peter Chember, who is a 16-year-old striker, he scored our first goal and then scored another one in the game in a 2-1 win.
Nice.
Picking up more wins.
If I'm not wrong, that's the team that were also on 12 points with.
Yes, it was, yeah.
So
we've played Humene 3 times in here because the split off to relegation group. We beat them on the first time.
Wait, why did they play 3 times in the split? Oh no, the
last
one was just before the split.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we drew on the second one. If you notice this, Huber and Koviak, he actually was our main striker. He was currently injured at the point when Chember scored. Then Dubnica.
5 games in a row he scored in.
This Zemplin game made
Oh my goodness, he scored a hat-trick and lost.
This Zemplin game made me want to hurt myself. So if you look...
Mbappe 2.0.
If you look at this point, we scored a hat-trick. We were 3-0 up before half-time.
3-1 up.
Yeah, sorry, 3-1 up before half-time. Then they scored in the 45 plus 2. Lost a man. So, okay, all right. 3-2, it's all good. And then turned it around. And not only did they turn it around, they turned it around with this absolute bitch of a goal. Which I wasn't planning to show you goals, but...
This one clearly really irked you.
This is a goal.
The one in your first goal. First episode, sorry.
This is a goal to pull it back against... This is the team that we're battling for 7th with.
Okay.
Like, what is that? I must have had my jaw literally on my desk. The momentum here as well. I was just livid. I was so annoyed with that game. So at that point, that is the reason why they're ahead of us in my mind.
So that's when Ash started to apply for new jobs again.
Since then, we haven't lost.
I don't know.
A 1-0, 4-0, another win against Humene, and most recently a 3-1 win against Dubnica. So we have ourselves 8th in the Fortuna League. We're on the same points as Zemplin, with 2 games to go.
Okay, so it's based on results between teams.
It is.
Here, I assume, yeah.
It is annoyingly, yeah. We've got 2 games left. We are going to be playing Zlate Moravce, yes, who are the team behind, and then the final game is against Zemplin themselves.
Okay.
So
basically, you've got to win against Moravce, or however you say that.
Yeah.
because if you don't, then Zemplin could qualify just. Oh no, because of results between teams, you could still.
Well, if we lose, oh yeah, no, potentially, yeah, you might be right. If we
because of results between teams, depending on the results earlier on in the season, you could potentially still win.
Oh no, they've beat us 3 times.
No,
never mind.
Not putting that back.
That is not being pulled back. So yeah, we've got 2 games left. I'm going to jump forward to the end of the season.
We need to have won them both.
I'm going to jump through to the end, yeah, and then potentially, I may have even been playing those European playoffs.
I'm going to call it now. You were.
Who knows? I wasn't. I just wasn't. I'm so annoyed.
Didn't even bother with
I'm so annoyed. Right, so we'll wait for it to load up, and I'll explain why. We did take 7th, but
Wait, what?
but I haven't played them yet, and I don't understand why. My only reasoning might be that it might be at the start of your season, so you may very well get us into Europe. However,
okay,
if we go into the stages and look at the previous season, they actually did have a playoff.
Right.
Which,
and the ties were played in May.
Yeah, May, and then the final was June. So I've already exceeded that date and I haven't played it. So I've got to be honest, I don't know if it's happening or not. So there may be a chance that we're just not in Europe, even though we got into the playoffs. But either way, we won the relegation group, which there was no chance of us getting out of, really. So we did as well as we could. And if we look at the table for numbers, which I know appreciate, that you've got the skew for the weaker teams, stronger teams, but we're the 3rd best team in the league.
We finished 3rd in the league.
We'll leave it at that.
That's how it happened. Everyone saw it.
Transfer-wise...
They did get relegated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't even mention that. They're dead to me. They've gone. Our best player is Chemba, the fella. He's played 9 games, scored 4 in the league, 2 assists.
Wow.
He's doing all right, to be fair. He's not brilliant, don't get me wrong, but he's all right.
Yeah.
He's still got a decent amount of potential as well. So he could do a good job. I'm excited to see what you can do with him. If you are enjoying, like, subscribe, all that, hop over to Andrew's channel as well. He's having some wonderful times with an Oxford save, and he's doing Alien Isolation playthrough as well. So if you want to see him, if you want to see him jump, then that's a good shot.
As I say, there's a new episode of that coming out tomorrow, but that's when we're recording this, not when it's coming out.
It's probably going to be about a week ago. But yeah. there'll be some on there. Don't worry about it. There's been items on screen as well. And yeah, thank you very much for your time.